all the disrespect before you play back. Button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day of buttons that need to be checked. This, or I should say today, is not only HT, but we got two videos posted today. So we got this one right here. Daigo literally just posted this video yesterday, I think last night, so we're about to cover that. Then we got a second video tonight, and that's when we're gonna celebrate HT. So either way, let's get some buttons, man. Hope you guys are having a good one. Chapters down below, let's go. All right, first up for that, Daigo the Beast versus MenaRD. Daigo just live streamed, and he broke it all down. Buttons that need to be checked. So we already know, I think it was back on Sunday, they released a trailer, dope as hell, for the whole Mena versus Daigo, the FT10. Dirty Low was here, we reacted to that together. That video is on the channel if you guys want to check it out. But now, I guess Daigo just live streamed. When was this, man? This was just 10 hours ago. He just did this 10 hours ago by the time I'm recording this, which is this morning on Tuesday, and it already has over 135,000 views. So anyway, catches some heat. The man goes into depth, breaks it on down with his doubts, the way it came together, the way him and Mena came face to face, and also the rules of the event. So I'm gonna put the link down below so you can check out the full video. His full video is over 26 minutes long, so we're just gonna check out the highlights. I'll translate as well. Once again, this is in Japanese, but they also have like English subtitles. And I know some of you are at work, some of you are driving, you can't read the screen, so I'm gonna pause it every now and then to let you know what the man is saying. Let's go.
エボ優勝者とかがことごとく負けてる。その辺の話はちょっと知らない人もいるかもしれないんで後で言いますけど、で俺なら勝てるっしょみたい。
Okay, so basically he was like, at first when Mena put the challenge out there, he was thinking, I was just thinking he was doing this because I was on his to-do list. He wanted to basically add me to the resume because he's like, this guy won this guy won that, meaning Evo and Evo Japan, Evo Vegas. He's like, I might as well face this guy, this Daigo guy that seemed to be really good over here. So that's how he said he was looking at it, Daigo anyway. He was like, I just looked at it like this guy was hot right now, so he was trying to add something to his list. But Daigo said, I thought to myself, surely I could beat this guy. He was like, this is something that Evo champions usually lose. And the reason why he said that is because later on in the video, he's gonna say that everybody that's ever challenged him to this format has been an Evo champion. Anyway, let's continue.
いつまで言ってんだお前みたいな感じで、いい加減そのなんちゅうんだろう、幻想を壊して。
So he was like, he just felt like he was coming to be like, you know, how long are you gonna brag about your FT10s? And that's why Daigo started laughing, because he was like, it's not like I brag about them, but that's how I was thinking in my mind. You see how we are all our own worst enemy? Ain't that some shit? Daigo was like thinking that this Mena kid was almost coming at him like, you know, how much are you gonna brag about these FT10s? And right here he says, he's basically coming to break the illusion. That's what I thought anyway.
どうあれ、そういう勝負。一応過去10先と呼ばれるものってどういうのがあったかっていうと、シェンが最初なんですよ。で、それなんかポストじゃないな、X に貼ってあるからなんとなくわかるのね。その後インフィルとやって、で時々とやって。一応あん中に入ってないんだけど、一応ガチ君ともやったっちゃやったんだけど。
So he's like, the four that I've had so far, I've placed Shen, Infiltration, Takedo, and then he said, I'm not sure if you want to include him, but Gachikun. I guess Gachikun was technically off the record, but he also first to 10 him as well. He beat all four. Let's continue.
今言ったメンバーとやったんだけど、1回として自分からやろうって言ったことってないんですよ。
Also, he goes on to say, I was never the one to initiate these matches. It was never me. It was either them calling me out directly or somebody like Mad Cat setting it up.
することもあるし、トップ8にいる可能性確率もすごい高かったけど、でもそんなに勝ってたかっていうと、そうでもなかった。2013年時点ですでに。そうでそういう勝負になるから無理でしょ。
Alright, so he was like, when I first played Xian, he just won Evo. People were like, he was winning like crazy. He said it was basically decided who people were thinking was going to win this match because I wasn't winning much. He was like, yes, I was winning more back then. This was back in 2013, and I was still more likely to be in top 8, but I wasn't winning. even way back then, I was having a horrible track record in tournaments. So a lot of people thought I didn't stand a chance against Shen because he was winning everything that year. Even right here on the screen it said, so I don't think anyone thought I stood a chance against Shen in his prime. Let's continue.
チェンに勝つのは無理でしょみたいな話になったと思うんですけど、まあ、結果10-0で
But I,
っていうのが
but I ended up winning 10-0. 10-0. Insane.
でこれは意外と大悟まだやれるんじゃねえのみたいな。いやまあわかんないけど、どういう空気感だったのか知らんけど、仕組んでる連中が。
Like, so maybe people think
まあ
now Daigo still
そん
got
なに
it.
間を置かずにインフィル戦がやるってことになって、でインフィルはね、その前年度エボで優勝してたっていうのもあるんだけど、プラスあれは2013年でいいのかな、カプコン、違う、ストリートファイター25周年だ30周年確か25周年だったと思うんだけど、で、ストクロとスト4の2冠したんですよ、インフィルが。しかも、両方ともウィナーズで負けてね。ウィナーズは俺が勝って、スト4は俺がウィナーズで倒して、ストクロは時々がウィナーズで倒してるんですよ。でその状況下で、ちなみに要はエボみたいな感じで同日にやるから、同じ日にルーザーズで俺と時々勝ってんだよね。ちなみに俺は0-6食らいました、ルーザーズから。時々はどうだったかな、時々はちょっと覚えてないんだけど。0-6食らって、時々も負けて、時々も0-6とかだったのかな、覚えてないけど。でも、ついに格ゲー界にとんでもねえバケモンが現れたなっていう空気感があったんですよ、当時、マジで。誰が倒せんねんこいつみたいな。バケモンすぎるだろみたいな。そうで、じゃあ今度インフィルでやってくれって話になって、さすがにこっちも結構緊張感があったんですけど、まあでも基本そういうの。
So right here he was like, then infiltration comes. This is around 2013. He was like, I was able to hang with him in Evo and even Takedo. I think they're even talking about Street Fighter 4, also Street Fighter Cross Tekken. But he's like, I went 0-6, like at the end of the day. Infiltration came back and beat me. So he was like, I lost 6 games straight. I guess to somebody else as well, but and so did Takedo. He was like, so the general sentiment was, actual monster, actually, I can't talk. An actual monster has arrived in the FGC. Who could possibly beat this guy, Infiltration? Like, holy shit, this dude is a monster. So he said when the challenge was issued from him, I'm not sure if it was from Infiltration directly or from like a team that set it up, but he said, I was actually nervous. Because like, holy shit, this is a different type of beast right here. And then on the screen right now, it says, but in general, if I'm asked to do something like this, I'll do it unless the character is handicapped truly awful. So he's like, if I'm asked, I'm going to do it. Let's continue.
それはいくつだったっけ ?10 対2か。
He said, what was the score for that one again? 10-2. 10-2. All right, now I'm going to fast forward to the part where he starts talking about Mena.
半とはいえいける自信がねえみたいな感じだったんだけど、まあでもそこまで言われたらじゃあまあ行くかということで、もちろん二日酔いではあったんです。
What Daigo's talking about here is hilarious because he's like, Team Reject was trying to set up the meeting because Mena kept saying, I want to talk to him face to face. Daigo was like, well, you guys just handle that. Aren't you just going to pick the date? Just let me know the date and I'll show up. And they kept telling Daigo, no, he wants to talk to you in person. And they gave him a time. And Daigo was like, I don't know if that time is good for me because I'm not sure that I'll even be human. Meaning, I'm going to drink. So Daigo says right here on the screen, and of course, I was hungover, but I still went. So now he's about to do the actual meeting behind the scenes with Mena. Let's continue.
と、リジェクトの人間が3、4人
He's
と、
like 3 or 4
4
people
人か
from
な。
Reject there.
3人かな。と、メナと、メナの
Mena's manager was
マネー
there.
ジャーと、メナのマネージャーの、なんだ、わかんない。オーナーなのかなわかんない。まあ、っていうぐらいの人がいて、まあだから計、俺含めると10人ぐらいいたの
Around
か。
10 people,
1、2、
including
3、
Daigo.
4、5、8人か。8人いたのか。まあ、開口一番向こうは、メナがね、まあ今回のことありがとうと。ただその時間が、すごい限られてるから、どうかと思うんだと。自分としては、やっぱりもっと時間をかけて、5月の末とか、6月の末とかでもいいから、じっくり時間をかけて、 お互い納得のいく形でやりたいんだけど、ということを言ってきたんだけど、俺としては、まあ、気持ちはわかるんだけど、そう言ってずーっと、
So right here is like Mena came pretty respectful and he's like, I want us to just take our time with this. We don't have to rush into this if you don't want to. I want us to have time to just focus on each other. And then Daigo's like, the time always seemed to be bad because it kept getting pushed back. Let's continue. Oh, and real quick right here, he was like, it just seems like it's always going to get pushed back. Let's just run it. Like, let's set the date right now and let's do it. I'm dedicated to Akuma for this FT10 and you're dedicated to Blanca no matter what, right? Even if buffs or nerfs come. So let's just run it with these two characters. Daigo later goes on to say, just to let y'all know, I'm not sticking with Akuma after this FT10. I'm not. I just believe in Kuma for this matchup. He actually believes that Akuma does well against Blanca. So he's like, I'll stick with him for this, but more than likely after this is done, I'm not sticking with Akuma anymore. So anyway, long story short, Mena actually agreed. He was like, yeah, you're right. Let's just do it and let's lock it in. And then he said what Mena said next actually took me by surprise.
コスでかいんじゃないのっていう意味で俺は言ったわけよ。ね、シーンに置いてかれちゃうよねって。そしたら、これはもう全然気にしなくていいと。まあ正直、これ言っていいのかどうかわかんないんだけど、とにかくこれが、ちょっとじゃあ言葉濁すけど、とにかくこれが一番大事だと。その他全てのイベントよりもこれが大事だから、これの安全の状態。
Damn, so he said, I was saying these things to Mena out of consideration. He was like, because honestly, it kind of doesn't matter to me because I'm not doing well at tournaments. He was like, so I can kind of focus on this thing now. Mena, though, he was like, when this guy focuses, he has a really good chance of winning the tournament. So I didn't want him to feel like he was being left behind the competitive scene. But Mena responded saying, no, don't worry about that. Me against you is the most important thing to me, so I'm actually willing to sacrifice a tournament, even Evo Japan. That's when Daigo was like, holy shit, I actually just realized the whole weight of this thing to this kid. Like, this is the biggest thing to him. So he's like, if we could do this in peak shape, he didn't mind sacrificing other tournaments.
45歳。こんなに熱い勝負ま
He
だ
said,
や
I'll be 45. I didn't think I would have such a heated showdown ever again.
まだやらせてもらえるとは思っていませんでした。ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
本当に感謝の気持ち
He said,
が出てきましたね。
I've really started to feel grateful for this. You know a competitor when you see one, right? He's like, yo, I'm this old. I didn't think I'd get to do this again. I'm feeling the fire. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for this challenge. Then he says real quick, the part that I skipped over, he was like, the rules for this, we're going to do the FT10. There's no cell phones allowed because if you have a cell phone, you could technically look at some footage. You know, you could have an unfair advantage, maybe talk to somebody. No cell phones. No cell phones. He said, but then Mena asked, can I bring a notebook? And then Daigo said, notebook, huh? That shouldn't be cheating. Like, that should be okay. So Daigo said, yes, we're allowed to bring notebooks. On top of that, they're allowed to take 1 3-minute break. So you're allowed 1 3-minute break. And also, after every 5 matches, they're going to either switch sides and also switch stages. Each of them pick 2 stages. So I guess after every 5 matches, they're going to rock, paper, scissors or something like that. I'm not sure if it's the beginning or in the middle, but they're going to switch. So there's actually legit rules in spot.
っていう、サウジらへんからそういううちでやれいとやらんかいという話になりまして、さすがにこれはという話になりまして、でじゃあもともとね別にいつやるかだけの話だったんで、生タイミングをじゃあ合わせて、いろんな候補が出たんだけど、いろいろといろんな都合でずれてだったんだけど、ちなみにその話来たのは年末ぐらいだったかな、確か年末か、そんぐらいだったと思いますわ。話が来て、で結局本当に2点3点4点5点って感じですけど、いろいろあったんだけども4月の末にやると。
Okay, so guess what? He said the folks from Saudi The folks from Saudi Arabia actually came to us and said, hey, please do this with us. And that's why he was like, all right, we're going to align it with Evo now that Saudi basically owns all the Evo, right? So he was like, yo, they came to us and said, we wanted to do this. And he said, well, obviously, we're not going to turn this down. Like, this is a golden opportunity. I'm sure they made a juicy like deal with Mena and Daigo, something lucrative, right? So Daigo is like, we're gonna do it. So now we gotta hash this out. So he's like, there was a whole bunch of back and forth, like 4 to 5 back and forth trying to figure out a time. And then right here on the screen, you see where you said, it took some time hashing out anyway, but ultimately we decided to do it in late April. It's happening. Saudi is involved and they organized it as well. How y'all feeling? This has me like what Dirty Low was saying back on Sunday. He was like, yo, say what you will about Saudi, but they're actually making it happening like to the point where I'm getting that old school feeling again, because a lot of people were disappointed in Cap Cup because not only were they charging us, but we felt like there was no value. There was no buildup. There was no backstory. And then the part of the top 16 you had to pay for, it was exactly the same as the free part of the stream. So they're like, yo, where's the value to this? Like maybe we could think about getting behind it for a certain price if there was something that felt like pay-per-view type style, but there wasn't. This right here, even what Dirty Low was saying, it feels like they're actually trying to build value now in the community, and the people at Saudi are kicking it off. Who would expect that, man? But it's here. How y'all feeling? You know what I'm saying? I hope. It seems like they're doing like more cool stuff. Matter of fact, at the end of this video, at the end clip that I usually post, I'm gonna post another video that the people at Saudi apparently did because it has to do with the EWC when Gachakun just won. I think it was Birmingham. Yeah, DreamHack Birmingham. And I think it was cool as hell. So once again, to me, it just seems like, I don't know who's doing this, but they're adding value, production value, story value, everything to this. So I tip my hat to everybody over there, man. So we're actually seeing some hype stuff. Anyway, it's going down, link down below because I did skip over a lot of parts. So check it out. How you feeling? And then just one more time, Butt Check family. Like I said, man, this is the first video of the day. The second one will be posted tonight, probably around 9 or 10 Central Standard Time, and then we'll celebrate HT at that time. So as always, I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, it's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.